Hello, welcome back to the show, and a welcome back to our reigning champion, Ian Jackson from the West Midlands. He's a tax accountant. Normally he arranges other people's returns, but this time he's arranged his own return to the series by winning £330 in our last programme. Will he continue to earn even more? Who knows? He may get knocked out by today's contestants. Let's meet the first two contestants with our hostess, Vicky MacDonald. Vicky, come in. And how lovely you look. Splendid. And who have we here?
Well, here we have Simon Bishop from Bristol.
Hello, Simon.
Hello.
And here we have Andy Kay from Musselburgh.
Andy. Thank you, Vicky. Right. Simon Bishop from Bristol. Now, you are in the business of selling cars and trucks.
That's right, Jeffrey.
Now, obviously you enjoy that, but sometimes people say, would you buy a second-hand car from this man, meaning that the business is full of, well, quite plausible and persuasive people. Would you say that you were that, or that you had to be? Yes, well,
Sorry.
you don't have to answer the question, Simon. Let's move on. you work with the... Well, you do have to, don't you? Because you work with the general public, and, of course, your job is keeping in touch with them.
That's correct, yes.
What sort of things do you ask them?
Well, I phone them up and ask them how they've been dealt with by our company, and if they're happy. If they're unhappy, then I try and address the problem.
Mm. Well, Simon, I'd buy any car from you. I promise you.
Glad to hear it.
Nice to have you on the show, anyway. And over here we have Andy Kay from Musselburgh. And you were a regular soldier, weren't you?
Yes, I was 10 years.
For 10 years?
Yeah.
Who were you with?
The Royal Scots.
The Royal Scots. And where did you get to with the Royal Scots?
Germany, Greece, Libya, Norway.
It was a good life, was it?
Oh, yes, I enjoyed it.
And then you went on to the TA, I believe.
Once I'd left the regular army, yes.
And you've done all sorts of things since then, but one of your jobs is as a cook.
Not a job as a cook as such. I did a 6-month course, and of course it's my hobby as well, plus eating it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what's cooking in the contest, shall we? As we go to the first question. Are you both ready? You do know, don't you, that you've got to build up as many points as you can to try to get into the final with our returning champion. You know that, don't you?
Yes.
You're not playing against each other. Right. Here we go, then. Let's have a look at the first question. Who called for his Fiddlers 3? Was it Wee Willie Winkie, Old King Cole, Simple Simon, Jack Sprat, or Max Jaffa? Right, you've got maximum of 30 points, Andy.
I'll go 30 points.
You'll go 30 points, why not? What about you, Simon?
I'll go 10 points.
10 points, very cautious. Press your buttons. And a difference of opinion. Simon thinks it was Wee Willie Winkie. Andy's certain it was Old King Cole. Andy's right, it was. Merry old soul who called for his Fiddlers 3. You've got 20 points, you've got 120 points. So a little caution, Simon, but don't worry, there's still plenty of time. I want you now to listen to some music and tell me which film had this theme. Well, now, which film do you think had that theme of this choice? Was it Gone with the Wind, Fire Over England, Brewster's Millions, Pandora's Box, or Dr. Zhivago? I'll ask you, Andy, how many you'd like to go. Up to 30 points?
Just 20 this time, please.
That's 20 this time. What about you, Simon?
I'll go for 20 as well.
You will go for 20. You must be very confident. Right, press your buttons. And we have Dr. Zhivago, Simon thinks, Fire Over England, Andy thinks. I'm afraid you're both wrong, and I think that's to blame on your youth, because it's a bit before your time. It was Tara's theme, and it was the theme of Gone with the Wind. And here's the poster that used to introduce it. Anyway, a round of applause. So, I rather think you're out of the game, Simon, aren't you? But will you play along anyway,
Certainly.
just to make the machinery work? And, Andy, your job is still to build up as many points, because if you can get more points than somebody in the next round, you'll be in the final. OK? Here we go. Third question. Where are the 25th Olympic Games going to take place in 1992? Is it Paris, Barcelona, Cairo, Seoul, or Perth? Right. How many would you go?
30 points, please.
You go 30. You can go anything you like. Simon?
I'll go 30 as well in that case.
Yes, you can, just for fun, yes. Right-ho, and press your buttons. And the correct answer is Barcelona. You're up to 190, Andy. We move on to the next question. It's a voice identification. I want you to listen and tell me whose voice do you think this is?
Michael awoke to the mindless fury of the game. It was an obscene ritual, celebrated in the darkness before each dawn, in which the massed banks of artillery batteries on both sides of the ridges made their savage sacrifice to the gods of war. Michael lay in the darkness under the weight of 6 woolen blankets and watched the gunfire flicker through the canvas of the tent like some dreadful aurora borealis.
Well, now, whose voice do you think that was? Was it Gabrielle Drake, Geraldine James, Jilly Cooper, Anne Beach, or Susan Hampshire? How many are you going to go on this one? Andy?
10 points, just.
Only 10, right, right.
I'll
Simon?
go really wild with 30.
Yes, right, press your button anyway. And you've both gone for Jilly Cooper. In fact, neither of you is right. The correct answer was Gabrielle Drake reading The Burning Shore by Wilbur Smith. And here's a picture of her. Gabrielle Drake, lovely, very busy actress, a very talented actress, who deserves a round of applause out from her own life, I think, for that lovely reading. You got 180 points, Andy. Last question. Who is most likely to be interested in perfins? Would it be an aeronautical engineer, an ichthyologist, a bookbinder, a miner, or a philatelist? Perfins. How many would you like to go?
30, please.
I think you may as well at this stage. Right? Put it in. And you?
I'll be cautious and go for 10.
And press your buttons. You both missed it again. It's neither an aeronautical engineer nor a bookbinder. Perfins are those holes that are put into stamps by large companies to prevent them being, prevent fraud. You used to work at the post office at one stage. Andy, you should have known that. Never mind, the correct answer was philatelist. So, unfortunately, we say goodbye to you, Simon, but you will be taking the encyclopedia back with you to Bristol. It's been good having you on the show, even if it was a rather short innings, but it's been nice to meet you.
It's been a pleasure being here.
Good. Simon, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Kay from Musselburgh, you got 150 points. I'm going to make a note of that because that may be enough to get you into the final, but we won't know until we meet the next 2 people who are going to play Winner Takes All. Introduce us, Vicky.
On your left, we have Bill Baines from Pinner.
Hello, Bill.
And here we have Mike Smith-Rawnsley from Plymouth.
Mike. Thanks very much, Vicky. Good. Bill Baines from Pinner, and you work at Post Office headquarters doing letters business, finance department. What does that mean you do,
correct. Well, various regions send in cases to us, say, for instance, for a new sorting office, a new delivery office, a new fleet of vehicles, and we look at the case, we work out how it's going to cost over 20 years, and we decide whether it's going to be a good case or not, and somebody then says, yes, go ahead, or no, don't go ahead.
And you're the one who decides?
Well, no, I don't decide. That's
but you
done at a
certainly
little
help to
higher
make the
level,
decision.
yes.
Oh, well, next time I see a new post office, I'll say Bill Baines had something to do with that.
Well, you never know, yes.
Good to see you, Bill. And over here, Mike Smith-Rawnsley from Plymouth. And you're a tax inspector, Mike.
Somebody has to be.
Yeah. No need to be defensive. But, and you, in your spare time, you play the guitar and the mandolin, and you're learning the concertina.
Yeah, I've got a love-hate relationship with it.
That's right. And I believe you're looking out for a businessman on the fiddle. Yes. Well, splendid. Well, it's very good to have you on the programme. And you do know, don't you, that you're trying to gather as many points as you can. I know our viewers don't always realise this. You've been shut away during that first round, so you've no idea what's happened, you've no idea what you've got to beat, but you're going to get as many points as you can to meet Ian Jackson in the final. So are you ready to make a start?
Yep.
Here we go, then, with the first question of your part of the contest. Who says that they have broken their duck? Would it be a farmer, a glazier, a cricketer, a car mechanic, or a potter? Mike, you have up to 30 points. What would you like to stake?
I'll go 30.
You will go the 30. And what about you, Bill?
I'll do the same.
Yeah, right. Press your buttons then. Both gone for the cricketer. It means, of course, that he's started to score, and you're both right. You've started to score, too. The next question is one of those that always gives us pleasure because it's come from a viewer, and it's come from Mr. L.H. Johns of Watcombe in Torquay. Mr. Johns, thank you very much for writing to us. We're looking forward to hearing your question. In the meantime, one of our winner-takes-all pens is on its way to you as a souvenir of this occasion. Let's see if you can beat Bill and Mike. Here's your question. What is an engineer's tweaker? Is it a screwdriver, a micrometer, a water divining rod, a theodolite, or a Geiger counter? How many would you like to gamble on this one, Mike?
I'll go the 30.
You'll go the 30 again, Bill?
So will I, yes.
Oh, neck and neck, my word. Righto, let's see if Mr. Johns can defeat you. Press your buttons. Mike thinks it's a screwdriver. Bill thinks it's a water divining rod. It is, in fact, a screwdriver. And Vicky, if you care to make some fine adjustments with your tweaker. There we are. And just let us have a look at it. There it is, a tiny screwdriver, a tweaker. So on we go to the next question, and the score, 120 to Bill and 210 to Mike. And here it is. Whereabouts is Prince Edward Island? Is it in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, the Gulf of Carpentaria, the Gulf of Bothnia, the Gulf of California, or Alton Towers? Right. How much would you like to go on this one?
30 again.
30, right. What about you, Bill?
I'll try the 30 as well,
30,
yes.
why not? Good. Press your buttons. And you've both gone for the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and your geography is impeccable. You are absolutely right. Well done. And just to locate it for you, let's take a look at this. There's the island, and if we pull out, you'll be able to see how it lies in relation to the coastline. Prince Edward Island in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Well done. The score, 270 points to Mike, 180 to Bill. Nothing in it, really, and I want you to take a look at something now. As you will see, it's a backgammon board. And what I want to know is how many counters does each player start with in backgammon? Is it 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15? Right, so let me just remind you of your choice again. How many counters does each player start with in backgammon? Is it 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15? How much are you going to go on this one? You've got 270. Again. You're going 30 again, Mike. Yep. Bill, what about you?
And so will I.
You'll go 30 again. Press your buttons. Right, and it's Mike who thinks it's the 10 to 1, 15, and Bill who thinks it's the 3 to 1, 12. The correct answer is 15. And here's the game, all set up, ready to start. Your move, Vicky. Very wise, very wise. I think it's what I would have done too. Right, and so we come to the fifth and final question with the score 570 points for Mike and 150 for Bill. Bill, desperate situations call for desperate remedies. You might have to gamble the lot this time. Take a look at this lovely creature. Whereabouts in a bird would you find the syrinx? Would it be at the end of the trachea, on the tip of the wing, on the edge of the claw, on the back of the tail, or on the top of the skull? Would it be at the end of the trachea, the tip of the wing, the edge of the claw, the base of the tail, or the top of the skull? Right. I want you to tell me for the last time, Mike, how many you'd like to go?
I'll go to the top again, 30, please.
You go 30. What about you, Bill?
So will I.
You're going 30. Press your buttons for the last time. And the correct answer, you've both gone for the trachea. You are both correct. Well done. Well, 210 points is a good score, Bill, but not enough, I'm afraid, to get you into the final. It's been good having you on the programme.
Thanks very much.
You go back to Pinner with an encyclopedia to browse at your leisure. Hope you've enjoyed being with us.
I have indeed, yes.
It's been good having you with us. Bill.
Thank you.
But Mike Smith-Rawnsley with 630 points. I can tell you that you are in the final, and you are going to meet our oncoming champion, Ian Jackson of Hales Owen, West Midland. That should be, on your present form that you've just been showing, a very exciting encounter. I hope you'll join us for us in part 2 in just a few minutes with Winner Takes All.
I want the report here first thing. It's in my filing cabinet.
Right, hang on, Mr. Thompson. Oh. Which one, Mr... Hello?
When you need something somewhere fast, call Data Post. We'll deliver documents, heavy items and consignments anywhere in the UK, guaranteed. And to all major business centres by 10 a.m.
Ah, that'll be my report.
When you're depending on it, Data Post it.
Excuse, Mum, we're hungry. Quite thirsty as well.
Mum, oh please, Mum, I'm going and he'll be here in a minute. Oh, Mum, please. Thanks, Mum. Can I have the, key?
Any danger of being fed?
Oh.
Actually, I won't have the prawns. I'll have the whitebait. No, hang on. I'll have the trout.
What's going on?
Well, you lot treat the place like one, so I thought it might as well look like one.
Princess, be prepared.
Flying Doctor Hospital, flying airborne, ETA 50 minutes.
What'd the doc say, Bill?
He says I'll pull through. No thanks to you, you drongo.
I got the doc, didn't I? And here. Could have been worse.
Poor bludger over here got taken by a crocodile.
Oh, mate. I don't mind telling you. I was terrified.
Yeah, me too. I thought the croc would never let go of the beers.
Australians wouldn't give a Castlemaine 4X for anything else.
Hello, welcome back to part 2 of Winner Takes All and our all-money final. And the man who won the money in the last programme was Ian Jackson from Hales Owen. How much did you get?
£330.
£330. Well, you might be able to build that up. You're not regretting coming back,
No,
are you,
not
Ian?
really, no. No.
Good.
Not yet.
Steady nerves. Steady nerves. And over here I've got Mike Smith-Rawnsley from Plymouth, who enjoys beer and walking. Do you just enjoy... Do you make beer or do you just enjoy it?
No, I've given up actually brewing because the bottling was just too much work, but... yeah, I like to walk first and then have the beer afterwards,
Yeah.
because it's a bit
I think
painful
that's
otherwise.
a very good idea. Well, we've got an interesting contest. I hope you'll forgive my saying this, Mike, but of course you are a tax inspector, and Ian is the chap who advises clients on how to, you know... So really you've pitted your wits against each other in one way before, haven't you? Let's see how you get on in the final of the contest. Are you both ready?
Yes, thank you.
Here we go. First question. Which of the following sees action on a nursery slope? Is it a nurse, a dentist, an airline pilot, a skier, or a playgroup leader? Right. Mike, how much would you like to go of your £30?
30.
You'll go 30. What about you,
I'll
Ian?
go 30
You'll
as well.
go 30. Press your buttons and make your choice. And you've both gone for the 5 to 1, the skier, and of course you're right. Well done. £180 each. Take a look, if you will, at this film. Now, this twin-engine bomber was geodetically designed, made of metal basketwork and covered with fabric. What is this bomber called? Is it a Sterling, a Wellington, a Lancaster, a Liberator, or a Halifax? Let me just remind you of the choice again. What was that bomber called? Was it a Sterling, a Wellington, a Lancaster, a Liberator, or a Halifax? How are you on aircraft, Mike? Are you good?
Not very good.
Not really. Well,
I know
in
more
that
about
case,
the old ones than the new ones.
Well,
I'll still go 30.
You still go 30. What about you then?
I'll go
Ian?
30 again.
You'll go 32. Press your button. And you've both gone for the 3-to-1, the Wellington. You are both right. That was very good. Very good indeed. Ian, how are you on films? Are you good about films?
Not particularly, no.
Not particularly? Well, let's see if you can cope with this question, which is about films. Which of these films is not a sequel? Remember that. Which of these films is not a sequel? The Empire Strikes Back, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Jewel of the Nile, Aliens, and The Colour of Money. Talking about The Colour of Money, Mike? How much do you want to
30
bang
again,
on this
please.
one? 30 again. What about you?
30 again, yeah.
30 again, Ian. Press your buttons. Which one was not? And you're quite right. Close Encounters of the Third Kind was not a sequel. Well done. £360 apiece. My goodness me. Music. I want you to listen to this and tell me which country is celebrated in this music. Well, which country was celebrated in that music? Was it Iceland, Denmark, Finland, Norway, or Sweden? You both got £360. How much do you want to go?
30.
30.
I'll have 30 as well.
30 again, Ian. Press your buttons. And a difference of opinion. Mike thinks that it is Norway, and Ian thinks that it is Finland. Since it was Finlandia by Sibelius, who you'll see in a minute, you are right, Ian. There he is, Sibelius. Doesn't look too pleased about it, does he? But, I thought it was good, even if he didn't. Right, so we come to the last question. And you've got £480, Ian. You've got 330, Mike. Everything is on the last question. I'm going to come to you first, Ian, when we come to place your bets. Listen to the question. According to the popular phrase, which Italian city do you see and die? Is it Verona, Naples, Sorrento, Florence, or Venice? Right, how much would you like to go, Ian?
I'll try 30.
You'll try 30. What about you, Mike?
30, please.
You'll go
Yes.
30. Make your choice. You've both gone for Naples. See Naples and die, and you're absolutely right. And I hope you're going to be all right after you've had a look at this picture, because here is Naples with Vesuvius in the background. That lovely city. There it is, Naples. Well, that's a very good total, Mike, but I'm afraid you were up against a champion on top form, weren't you?
He was really going for it.
He really was. Have you enjoyed being with us anyway?
I've met some lovely people, enjoyed myself right the way through.
Good. It's been grand having you with us here. Mike, ladies and gentlemen. But Ian, you did have 330. Now you've got 570. I think you should come into my office and discuss this. Well, you now have a total, Ian, of £900. You can take that back and enjoy it back in Hales Owen, or you can stay and play another programme and try and build it up even further. If you do and lose, of course, you'll only get half that total. So what are you going to do?
Well, I've enjoyed myself, and I don't want to be too greedy, so I'll take it.
You're going to take it. Well done. Here's your check. Mike, come down and join us. Well done. Well, there we are. That's the end of this programme. Mike won't be with us. Ian won't be with us. He's taking his money back to Hales Owen. But in the next programme, Vicky will be here, and so shall I. And we shall be meeting some new contestants. I hope you'll be with us, too, for Winner Takes All. Goodbye.
It's winner takes all. And here's your host, Geoffrey Wheeler.
Hello. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome to the programme. Well, in the last show, we met John Young of Porthcawl. He told us that he restores cars and was working on an old Triumph. Since then, he started working on a new Triumph. His Triumph on our show, he got £240, and he hopes to come back and make it up to very much more than that. Whether he'll be allowed to depends on our contestants. Let's meet the first two of them with our hostess, Vicky MacDonald. Vicky, come in. And who have we to begin with, Vicky?
On your left, we have Nicola Lane from Bristol.
Hello, Nicola.
And here we have Peter Ibbs from Carlisle.
Peter. Lovely. Thank you, Vicky. Nicola, from Bristol, that's a lovely part of the world. You work as a PAYE auditor for the Inland Revenue.
That's right, yes.
Now, is that a bit dull? People think the figures are a bit dull.
Certainly not, no. I go out and inspect employers' records to check the operation of pay-as-you-earn. So I go to a wide variety of different employers and different types of businesses, so it's very interesting.
Do they tremble when you appear?
Sometimes. Depends what they've got to hide.
No, I see. You don't look very fierce, but I suppose you could be, given the opportunity.
Yes.
Anyway, you look very nice tonight. I hope you're going to enjoy being on the show, Nicola.
Thank you.
Your opponent is Peter Ibbs from Carlisle, and you're the manager of Barclays Bank there.
That's right, yes.
And I believe you've got an extensive coin collection.
Quite reasonable, which I started when I first joined the bank.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was any connection between the two.
Yes.
Right, Peter, Nicola, are you ready? Here we go. You're trying to raise the maximum points, you understand, to meet our champion who's coming forward. Right, first question then. What vegetable forms the basis of sauerkraut? Is it cabbage, turnip, swede, spinach, or leek? You can go up to 30 points, Peter. What would you like to go?
30, please.
30. What about you, Nicola?
Yes, 30,
Right,
please.
press your buttons then. And you both think it's cabbage, and you're both right. Well done. And here is the sauerkraut, chopped up in front of the cabbage it came from. There it is, sauerkraut. On now to the second question, and it's a rather unusual music question. I think you'll find this interesting, Nicola and Peter, because I want you to listen to part of a song, and then I want you to tell me what are the next words of this song. Listen carefully.
There's a good old Scottish custom that has stood the test of time. It's a custom that's been carried out in every land and clime, where brother Scots forgether. It's aye the usual thing. Just before we say good night, we fill our cups and sing.
Right. Now, what are the next words of that song? Are they a red, red rose? Are they auld lang syne? A wee doch and Doris? A bonny wee lass? Or a man that's born to be king? How much would you like to go?
I'll go 30, please, Geoffrey.
Nicola?
I'll go 30, Geoffrey.
Press your buttons. And a difference of opinion. Peter thinks it's a wee doch and Doris, and you think, Nicola, that it's a bonny wee lass. Well, let's listen.
Just a wee doch and Doris, just a wee drap, that's all. Just a wee...
And there you saw Sir Harry Lauder singing the right answer, a wee doch and Doris. So well done, Peter. Take a look at this picture, and this reminds us that the furlong survives in the lengths of horse races. What I want to know is, how long is a furlong? Is it 220 yards, 200 yards, 180 yards, 160 yards, or 140 yards? Now, you've got 210 points, Peter. How many do you want to stake?
30, please.
30, right-ho. Do speak up, won't you? What about you, Nicola?
How many have I got there, Jeff?
Oh, you've got 60.
Right, thank you. 20, please.
You'll go 20, right-ho. And press your buttons. And again, a difference of opinion. Nicola thinks it's 200 yards. Peter thinks it's 220 yards. A furlong is 220 yards. So, Nicola, you've got 40 points. You've got 270, Peter, so you're doing quite well, but you could catch up, Nicola. There's 2 more questions to go. Listen and tell me, if you can, whose voice is this?
It was the first day of the Christmas holidays, and William had spent a happy morning roaming the countryside with Ginger, Douglas, and Henry. They had made fires and tracked each other through forbidden woods. They had fished in forbidden streams, and they had discussed at length that insoluble mystery, why a morning passes so much more quickly in holiday than in term time.
So, whose voice was that, do you think? Was that Ronnie Corbett, Kenneth Williams, Hugh Lloyd, Bill Oddie, or Charles Hawtrey? How many would you like to go, Peter?
30, please.
You'll go 30. What about you, Nicola? You have 40 left.
Yes, I'll go 30 as well, please.
Do speak up, won't you?
Yes, I'll go 30 as
You'll
well,
go
please.
30, right-ho, well done. Press your buttons. And you're agreed that it was Kenneth Williams, reading the Just Williams story by Richmond Crompton, and you're right. So let's just take a look at Kenneth Williams. There he is. Stop messing about. Right, let's move on to the last question, shall we? You now have 130, Nicola, and you have 360, Peter. And I want you to look at this picture. The Crystal Palace. Who designed the Crystal Palace for the 1851 Great Exhibition? Was it William Kent, John Nash, Decimus Burton, Joseph Paxton, or Lancelot Brown? Right, how much do you want to go on this one, Peter?
30, please.
You go 30. What about you, Nicola? You've got 130.
Yes, I'll go 30.
You'll go
please.
30, right? Press your buttons. And a difference of opinion. Nicola thinks it's Joseph Paxton. Peter thinks it's Decimus Burton. It was Joseph Paxton. So, there we are, and an end to this round. Well, you've got 280 points, Nicola. I think had there been a few more questions, you might even have overtaken Peter. Don't you think so, Peter? She was on your heels. Unfortunately, though, you are now out of the running, but it means that you go back to Bristol, taking with you our encyclopedia, which we hope you'll enjoy. It's been lovely meeting you. Nicola.
Thank you very much.
Peter, you've got 330 points. That may be enough to get you into the final to meet John Young, our oncoming champion, or maybe it won't. Whether it will or not depends on the result of the next round. And we're going to meet now the next 2 people who are going to play Winner Takes All. And who have we for this round, Vicky?
Well, here on your left we have Judith Perry from Twickenham.
Hello, Judith.
And on your right we have Charlie Allen from Edinburgh.
Charlie, good to see you. Thank you, Vicky. Judith Perry from Twickenham, and you are a first-year student of homeopathy?
Yes, that's right, homeopathy.
Well, you look very fit. I mean,
Thank you.
I believe you had a whole food shop yourself.
I did, yes, called Nothing Naughty at Teddington.
Lovely. But although this is, you know, sort of very wholesome and so on, in fact, there's there's another side to your nature. I heard something about you being seen whizzing around Brands Hatch.
Yes, I'm a bit of a speed freak, Geoffrey.
What did you get? Tell me about it.
Well, I promised myself for my 40th birthday that I'd drive round Brands Hatch. So you can hire lessons round Brands Hatch.
Yeah.
And I took my 75-year-old mother, and she had a couple of laps as well. She thoroughly enjoyed it. And she's got a pacemaker, so the young guy that took her around was shaking, and she was coming out saying, oh, great, you know, can I go around again?
Oh, lovely. That's splendid, Judith. Lovely to have you on the show. Over here we've got Charlie Allen from Edinburgh.
Yes.
Charlie, I saw recently in the paper that your city has been voted the most desirable place to live.
Yes, I believe so, and I wouldn't disagree with that.
You wouldn't disagree with
No,
that?
I
You love living there, do you?
Yeah.
You work for the Lothian Regional Council. What do you do exactly?
I'm a management services officer, and I carry out reviews of departments and staffing within departments of the council.
I see. Make sure that there are people there to do the job.
Yes, indeed, and try and make it work more efficiently.
Right. You're a big fella. You play rugby, don't you?
Yes, I do indeed, yeah.
And you enjoy visiting castles and ancient monuments.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. Here we go with the first question. What comes from the Royal Mint? Is it stamps, coins, watches, herb teas, or chocolates? Charlie, out of your 30 points that you're permitted to stake, how many do you want to stake?
I'll go 30.
You'll go the 30. Judith, what about you?
Yes, I'll go 30.
You'll go 30. Press your buttons. And you've both gone for the 3-to-1 coins, and you're both right. And if you just like to take a look at this, Judith and Charlie, you'll see a machine making the coins. There it is, in the Royal Mint. Right, your next question hasn't been set by Deborah Sutherland, our question setter. She's done all the others, of course, but this one has been set by a viewer, and that is Cyril Ham of Wokingham. Cyril, thank you very much indeed for writing in with your question. Whether you will defeat Judith and Charlie, I don't know, but thank you for writing anyway, and we will be sending you a winner-takes-all pen as a souvenir of your success in getting a question on the programme. And this is what Mr. Ham wants to know. He says, where would you find a peel? Would it be in a belfry, a bakery, in a police station, at a political demonstration, or in a brewery? A peel. Well, now, Charlie, you've got 120 points. How many do you want to stake?
I'll go 30, please.
You'll go 30. What about you, Judith? You've got 120 points too.
I'll go 20.
You'll go 20, a bit more cautious. Right-ho. Press your buttons. And a difference of opinion. Judith thinks it's in a bakery. Charlie thinks it's in a belfry. You'd certainly have a peal of bells in a belfry, wouldn't you? But in fact, the answer is in a bakery. A bakery. And if you're wondering just what a peel is, but I've got an idea you know what a peel is, just take a look at this. There it is. It's a long, flat shovel, and there's Vicky making the bread rise. Right, on to the third question. And I want to know, what are sometimes called eye teeth? What are sometimes called eye teeth? Are they incisors, wisdom, canine, premolar, or second molar? You have 90 points, Charlie. How many would you like to go?
I'll go 30.
You'll go 30. You have 180 points, Judith. What about you?
I'll go 20.
You'll go 20. Right-ho. Press your buttons. And you've both gone for canine, and you are both right. Well done. Very good. And in case you're wondering what the canines look like, here we are. There's Vicky. Do you know, Vicky, I've worked with you for years, and that's the first time I've seen you snarling, darling. There's your canine. Lovely. Well done. What a lovely set of canines. Beautiful. So, on to the fifth question. I beg your pardon, it's the fourth question, and the score is 260 to Judith and 210 to Charlie. There really is nothing in it at all at this stage. And what I want to know, an appropriate question for this time of the year, what garden tool comes in types called Italian, Dutch, and scuffle? Is it a rake, a hoe, a trowel, a spade, or a fork? I think think I'll ask you first this time, Judith. How many would you like to go?
30.
You'd like to go 30. She looked straight at me and said 30, just like that. Charlie, what about you?
I'd like to go 30 also.
Well, you shall, you shall. Press your buttons. And you're both agreed that the answer is the hoe. And of course, you're both right. Well done. And let's take a look at those hoes. There we are, on the left, the Italian, in the centre, the Dutch, and on the right, the scuffle, the three kinds of hose. Right, so we now have a score 350 points for Judith and 300 for Charlie. I've got a feeling it could all hinge on this last question. Very tricky question, this one. If an MP is named in the House of Commons, what happens next? Is it that the MP makes a speech, or that all the MPs vote, or that the MP leaves, the MP touches the mace, or the MP goes to the gallery? Now then, 350 points you've got, Judith. It's your privilege. What would you like to stake on this one?
30. Yeah.
30, the full lot. Right. Charlie?
Yes, I'll go 30.
You'll go 30. Press your buttons for the last time. 320 plays 300, and we'll see what happens. And you both put the MP leaves. Do you know you've both fallen into the trap? You've both fallen into the trap because what happens when a speaker is named in the House of Commons is that all the MPs vote to decide whether the MP named ought to leave. So, I think a round of applause for Deborah Sutherland for a very clever question. Well, Charlie, you've got 270 points, a good total by any account, but not enough, as you know, because Judith beat you with 320 points. But Judith, I have sad news for you. Good as that total was, it wasn't as good as Peter Ibb's total of 330 points in the first round. So I'm afraid we have to say goodbye to both of you. So as you go back to Edinburgh and you go back to Twickenham, you will be taking with you our special encyclopedia, which I hope you will treasure as a memento of this occasion. I've thoroughly enjoyed meeting both of you, and I know that our audience have. Thank you both very much indeed. A round of applause. Well done. Well done. Thank you, Julie. So there we are. So we now know that it is the bank manager from Carlisle, Peter Ibbs, who goes through to the final to play John Young from Porth Call for money in the final of Winner Takes All. That's in just a moment or two, so don't go away.
Take three colours perfectly in tune with one another. Then, let yourself go. That's blend and tone from Dulux. A new way of coordinating colour. Safe in the knowledge of perfect results. The only tricky bit? Which of the blend and tone collections to choose?
Oh, they come from all over the place. Some of them come specially, some just visiting the area. Over 100,000 came to the exhibition last year. They wanted to find out about British nuclear fuels, like the fact that we supply the fuel for Britain's 18 nuclear power stations. Facts you can find out at the Sellafield Exhibition Centre. Come and see us. Just drop in.
Just don't all come at once. You know, Greta, there's only one thing to do at a time like this. Turn to the bottle, mate.
Hello and welcome to our final of Winner Takes All. And with me over here I have John Young from Porthcawl and Peter Ibs from Carlisle. Here we go then. This is the final. Here we go with the first question. Who would use a trickle charger? Would it be the owner of a horse, the owner of a canoe, the owner of a piano, the owner of a car, or the owner of a pocket watch? And you've got £30, of course. Peter, how many would you like to stake?
I'll stake 30, Jeff.
Even knowing that if you lose it, you're out altogether?
Yes.
You reckless thing, you. I'm sure your bank manager wouldn't let you do that.
No, I don't think he would.
John.
I'll go 30 as well,
You'll
please.
go 30 as well. Right-ho. Press your buttons and make your choice. And you've both gone to the 5 to 1, the car, and of course you are right. And just to show you what we mean, take a look at this. There's a trickle charger, and Vicky MacDonald with her hit from the show, I'm in Charge. Thank you, Vicky. So let's now move on to the next question. The score's £180 each. Absolutely nothing in it as we come to this part of the show. And I want you to take a look at some film that was shot quite a while ago. Miraculously, Manchester United reached the Cup final in 1958, only 3 months after losing 8 players in the Munich air disaster. What I want to know is which team beat Manchester United in the 1958 FA Cup final? Was it West Ham United, Leicester City, Bolton Wanderers, West Bromwich Albion, or Tottenham Hotspur? Peter, you've got £180.
I'll stake 30, please.
You'll go 30. What about you, John?
I'll go 30 as well.
You'll go 30 as well. Right, fine. Press your buttons. And Peter says it's Bolton Wanderers. John thinks it's West Ham United. The correct answer is Bolton Wanderers. So Peter goes up to £300, John down to 150, but don't worry, John, there's plenty of time. In an original Davy safety lamp, what material encloses the flame? Is it wire gauze, cotton gauze, glass, perspex, or mica? Peter, how many of your £300 up to 30 would you care to stake?
I'll try 30, please.
You'll try 30. What about you, John?
I'll try 30 as
You'll
well,
try
please.
32. Press your buttons. And a difference of opinion. Wire gauze from Peter and mica from John. The correct answer is wire gauze. And you can see the wire gauze, in fact, on these 4 early safety lamps, which have been very kindly loaned to us by the Leeds Industrial Museum. The wire gauze that kept the flame within the lamp. So, on to the 4th question. You're down to £120, John. You're up to 360, Peter. And it's a question involving music. I want you to listen carefully and tell me who wrote the music for this version of Ave Maria. So, who wrote the music for that version of Ave Maria, so beautifully sung by Lentin Price? Was it Gounod, Schubert, Bach, Sullivan, or Mendelssohn? You have 360, Peter.
30, please.
30 again. What about you, John?
Oh, I suppose I'll have to go 30 as well, please.
I think it might be wise, mightn't it, really? Right, press your buttons. And you've both gone for Schubert, and in fact, Schubert is the right answer. Well done, both of you. Yes, you're right, it was indeed Franz Schubert. And here's a lovely little bust of the composer. And so to the last question, you've got £210, John. You've got 450, Peter. It looks a formidable lead, but you never know your luck in this game, John, do you? And the question is this. What is another name for housey-housey? Is it Ludo, backgammon, bridge, bingo, or mahjong? Now, how much do you want to go, Peter?
30, please.
30. What about you, John?
30, please.
You'll go 30. Press your buttons. And you're both agreed on the 5 to 1. I'm not going to tell you. Let's ask the audience. What's another name for housey-housey? Bingo! There you are. Well done. Splendid. Well, Johnny came jumping up there with £360, but unfortunately that wasn't enough, and I'm afraid you're out of the contest. You've been a great contestant. It's been grand having you with us. John, ladies and gentlemen. But Peter Ibbs, the bank manager from Carlisle, has amassed a capital sum of £600. You told me that banks nowadays are concerned with investment. Well, in fact, so am I. I think you should come into my office and have a word with me. In fact, of course, I'm not giving you any advice at all. I'm just going to tell you the options. You've got £600. You can take that back to Carlisle and enjoy it. Or you could stay on and try and push that a little further towards the top limit of £3,000. If you do and you lose, you only take away half of that. What are you going to do, Peter?
I'll push on a little further, Jeff.
You're coming a little further. That's grand. Well done, Peter. Congratulations. Marvellous. Splendid. Come down and join us, John. John. And Vicky's got your cheque, so there we are. Well done. So that's splendid. So in the next programme, John won't be with us. Peter certainly will, won't you, Peter? Trying to push that 600 even further. Vicky will be here, I'll be here. Make sure that you are, for winner takes all.
It's winner takes all. And here's your host, Geoffrey Wheeler.
Hello, welcome back to the programme. Well, in our last show, we had an exciting time because our reigning champion resigned and Peter Ibbs, the bank manager from Carlisle, decided to open a current account at the Winner Takes All Bank here in Leeds. Well, whether our contestants are going to allow him further credit remains to be seen. They're going to try and put a stop to him, that I do know. But whether they will or not, we'll wait and see. Meet them with our hostess, Vicky MacDonald. Vicky. And who have we here, Vicky?
Well, on your left, we have Sue Bonington from London.
Hello, Sue.
And here we have David Hoffmeyer from Plymouth.
David. And thank you, Vicky. Sue Bonington from London, from, in fact, Haringey, I think.
That's right.
Well, where exactly do you live in Haringey?
I live right in the middle of it, on a road called Green Lanes.
I see. Do you have a flat, or do you share it, or what happens?
Well, I live in a mouldy bedsit, really, is the best way to describe it, with three very strange women.
Would you care to enlarge on that?
Well, I live with a teacher who hates children, an actress who has never appeared on television because everything she's ever done has been cancelled, and a writer who is half of the Stephen Fry fan club.
Oh, really? I see. And you're something of a writer yourself, aren't you? You're a temporary shorthand secretary in order to earn money to write?
That's right, yes. Just,
what sort of things do you
Just stories and magazine articles, really.
Lovely. Well, I hope your story today is going to have a happy ending, Sue.
Thank you.
It's good to have you on the show. And over here, we've got Dave Hoffmeyer from Plymouth, and you are a quality controller on dental instruments.
Yes,
What does that mean you do?
I work for a company that manufactures dental instruments for dentists, hospitals, and surgeons. And it's my job to run a department to make sure that no substandard product gets out of the factory and into the hands of the professionals.
I see. But of course, you used to have a much jollier job, didn't you?
Yeah.